Hello everybody, welcome back to the ASUS North America YouTube channel. This is JJ, and guess what? I've just finished talking to the overclocking gods. They told me to go to the promised land of overclocking. They told me to learn how to overclock overclocking. They asked me what begins with magical blackwing chokes, what starts with four-way capability, what has the capability to run as many as 10 SATA devices at one time, and even offers extremely fast wireless built on board. And you know what? They told me. They told me it was the Maximus VI Extreme. That's what we guys are going to be talking about today. We're going to pretty much be diving into the holy grail of tweaking, tuning, and overclocking. It does not get better than this. This is bores out, balls to the wall, the fastest thing you're going to be able to get for Z87, and we're going to be breaking it down for you every which way possible. So make sure to stay locked to the channel, and we're going to cover the Maximus VI Extreme. Okay guys, we've gone ahead and taken the liberty of cracking open the box that includes all the accessories and laying them out for you here, so let's go ahead and jump into them quickly. First off, you can see in this bottom section right here, we've got an extensive array of SATA connectivity, pretty much as many drives as you can connect. We've got every single cable for you. So each one of these includes 2 SATA 6G cables, and there's a total of 5 sets here. That means that you have 10 SATA 6G cables included inside the box, ready to go and taking care of you in terms of all your storage connectivity. Next up right here, we have an entire array of multi-GPU brackets. The Extreme boards are always focused at multi-GPU enthusiasts. Whether you guys are in love with SLI or Crossfire, we're going to get you taken care of. And that means you've got two-way bridges for both SLI and Crossfire. Of course, we're keeping them black to keep that aesthetic looking good. And you've got three-way and four-way SLI bridges included inside the packages here. Give you guys a little bit just of a shot in terms of what we have included there. So that covers multi-GPU as much as you can pretty much throw at the board. Next up here, we've got a really nice little addition that includes an actual really nice metal ROG magnet. So this is something, if you guys want to be able to represent ROG, you're passionate about the brand, you're passionate about the products just like us, you can go ahead and throw that up where you'd like in terms of a magnetic surface. Next up, we've got our Q connectors. These guys are black, so of course aesthetically they're set to match up with the board quite nicely. And this is going to be for your front chassis needs, things like your power button, your reset button, power LED, things along those lines. And then you also got another one there for the USB port. Next up here, the motherboard comes included with 802.11 AC wireless as well as Bluetooth 4.0, and this is going to be the corresponding antennas for it. So you want to make sure and connect these to the actual M-Combo module to make sure that you get the best throughput and performance and overall wireless reception. We've got the classic white USB cable. For you guys that don't know what this is a very special cable. This enables our ROG Connect technology. So this is going to allow you to make a direct hardware level connection with one of the USB ports on the motherboard and make a connection to a USB enabled tablet or a USB enabled notebook or desktop and have full line level monitoring, diagnosing, and overclocking capabilities for the Maximus VI Extreme. A really awesome piece of hardware technology that's enabled through this cable and the hardware that we have on the board. And next up, we've got two really interesting items that we're going to touch more in a little bit. We've got, seem to be here, a 5 1/4 bay, and we've got what looks to be some type of data power cable that would also work with that. And that's going to be for a very special accessory that we're going to touch on here momentarily. So wrapping up the accessories, we've got a couple of other items. We have, of course, the user manual or the overall guide. This details all the specifications, configuration parameters, all the accessory information, and how to set up and tweak and tune and work with the board. Make sure to take a look at this, as well as our forums for extensive information on how to overclock, how to tweak, and how to tune the Maximus VI Extreme in our ASUS series of motherboards. And next up there, we've got a nice set of cable ties as well as labels. Now that's works in conjunction, of course. If you guys haven't watched our UEFI video, check it out. We have the ability now to name individually each one of the SATA ports in the UEFI, so you might not need these guys anymore. And then from there, of course, we have the full software support DVD. It includes all the drivers, all the software and utility. You do not want to not use this disc. This includes the full version of our AI Suite 3 system tuning utility, as well as our brand new Turbo V Core system tweaking utility, which is another nice addition, as well as you have some full featured functional software on here that you're going to want to go ahead and make sure to take advantage of. So that's some very nice plus points. And lastly, we've got a really nice ROG case badge. So that covers pretty much everything that comes included inside the box, but we haven't talked about all the accessories. There's a very special accessory that we're including for this generation, exclusive and inside the box for this Maximus VI Extreme, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at it. Okay guys, so you're in for a big treat. We just covered all the accessories, but we left one out and we wanted to go a lot more into what's really special about it. So we have it right here. So give you guys a little bit of perspective, if you guys have been following RG for a long time, you know that RG has really led the industry in overall real-time overclocking innovations. Whether it was on our original Tweak It, which were hardware level controls built onto the motherboard for dynamic clock adjustment, frequency adjustment, voltages, things along those lines. We were doing it before anybody else a long time ago on boards like our Rampage Extreme, Rampage 2 Extreme. And one thing that we actually found out after talking to a lot of users was that there was actually very few, even super high-end enthusiasts, for the guys that are actually doing world level overclocking, that were utilizing this feature set. So what we have here is the overclocking panel, or the OC panel is what we've called it. And you can see it's a really awesome, nice little unit. It's very small. It's handheld. As you see, it's got this great little kickstand built into it, so you can go ahead and rest it on any surface. And if you guys might have noticed on the board when we talk about it, it's a little bit smaller than previous generations because it's no longer larger than the ATX specification. We've shrunken it down, and we've actually taken some of our advanced features like VGA hot wire, as well as our our VGA hot wire and our Sub-Zero Sense technology, and we've integrated that onto the OC panel to allow us to go ahead and shrink size the motherboard. So as you can see here, we've got a really nice Vfd display built in there that gives us information relative to things like temperatures, voltages, the motherboard information, clock speeds. And the really cool part about it though is that it has two modes of operation. So there's going to be an extreme mode that benefits you guys out there that really want to tweak and tune and push the board, use it in a kind of more benchtop capacity. And then what about us? People that want to be able to use this in a normal system, you're going to have another level of functionality where you can go ahead and essentially take the unit, fold it down, flip this display up, and go ahead and turn it into something that you can dock into a 5 1/4 bay. So this really offers an awesome level of functionality and versatility. And those actually the other accessories that we talked about here, where you have the 5 1/4 bay adapter, and this is the corresponding cable that will allow you to connect the OC panel directly to the motherboard. Now when you shift between those two modes, you have two entirely different levels of adjustment. In the normal mode, you'd have things like where that'd be the power button, you'd have the fan button to allow you to make a quick profile adjustment to, let's say, your primary CPU fan if you wanted to run it in silent operation versus in full performance for better cooling. You could also go ahead and initiate one-button overclocking, where you can store your own profiles inside of the UBFI for your overclocks, which you can also go ahead and load up. Or you can switch it, of course, into the extreme mode, where you have full real-time clock controls, where you can make adjustments in relation to voltages and frequencies and BCLK, or even go ahead and link it up with other corresponding items. We can go ahead and pull this guy down here and even start to go ahead and do more. In terms of having even more flexibility, you can see here that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 fan headers, and those are powered when we go ahead and add additional SATA power. We have connections for our VGA hot wire technology, where you can take our graphics cards like the GTX 770 DirectCU2, which has VGA hot wire, or something like our 7970 Matrix card, which has VGA hot wire, and have full real-time advanced level overvolting available to you directly to the graphics card. We even support non-ASUS graphics cards with pure digital controllers via these supplemental connections, and we still offer advanced levels of control like our slow mode or pause mode operations for you guys out there that need the super level of granularity and control during the post stage for aggressive level overclocking. So you can see here that we have two entirely different levels of functionality for those guys that are extreme users, as well as you guys that are just standard enthusiasts looking for an awesome piece of hardware that gives you some flexibility, looks good, and is going to be able to be installed in your chassis and give you a lot of good information. So this is something that we're really excited about. We feel adds a whole new layer of value when you consider that every single board on the ROG side of the fence for Z87 will be able to support the OC panel. It's a great level of investment that if you want to have this flexibility and you get the Extreme, but maybe you buy our Micro ATX Gene board, you could also run the OC panel on it. It's fully compatible. So you guys can see it installed in the chassis. Really nice level of options and feature set. And here we're just recovering, as you can see, the extensive array of connectivity. So in terms of this accessory, it's going to come included inside the box. It's fully hardware based. You don't need to worry about any type of a software minus one very basic piece of software called ROG Connect Plus, and you can go ahead and get yourself up and have a really awesome accessory to be able to go with the Maximus VI Extreme. So with that, we're going to go ahead and actually jump into the topology and the feature set and the design layout for the Maximus VI Extreme. Okay guys, so now that we've covered the accessories, the OC panel, we're going to go ahead and talk about the feature set and the topology for the Maximus VI Extreme. So it being an ROG series motherboard, you already know it's going to be special in this regard, and it being the Extreme, it's even going to be that much more special. So let's go ahead and start off from the top. So at the top, of course, we have our 8-pin CPU power connection, and then we have a supplemental 4-pin CPU power connection. Keep in mind for you guys that always ask the question, do I need to connect it? No, you do not. It's really only there for guys that are pushing the board to higher level overclocks. Even if you're aggressively pushing this board, 4.8 gigahertz plus, you're not need to worry about making sure that that is connected. Just the standard 8-pin will do you. Moving along from there, of course, we can see that we have two 4-pin CPU fan headers. Now there's an extensive number of fan headers throughout the entire board, and we're going to go ahead and touch on every single one of them. But like all ASUS C87 series motherboards, this does feature our exclusive Fan Expert 2 tuning technology, so that means both 4-pin and 3-pin fans are fully supported in terms of control, whether it's in the UEFI or whether it's in the operating system. So that's a definite plus, especially for you guys out there that want optimal cooling, optimal configuration parameters for your system configurations. Now, next over in this entire little section, we've got a lot going on. This is kind of what we call our Overclockers Corner. There's a lot of connectivity, a lot of buttons. So from the top, we of course have our debug LED mechanism. So this is for you guys that like to reference postcodes, want to be able to visualize information on error codes, whether it's going to be MEM related, CPU related, what it might not be. And then from there, we've got, of course, another CPU fan header. Next up to that, we have a power button and we have a restart button. Now, the power button, for you guys that want a quick tip, is we've incorporated a special soft recovery mode. Essentially, we can initialize an overclocking failed function by holding that button down for 4 seconds. So instead of clearing your CMOS and entirely wiping out all the values on the board, if you just wanted to go ahead and get the board back up and running from a quick failed overclock, or just be able to force it to recover in an overclock recovery mode, just hold down that button for 4 seconds. Next to that, we go ahead and we have our slow mode button, which is a special optimized mode for LN2 overclocking. And down from there, we have PCIe switches, which allow you to go ahead and control and initialize the PCIe slots on the motherboard. That's great for guys that are doing troubleshooting or running extensive GPUs during bench testing sessions. So a lot of flexibility there. We then have a MemOK and Go button right next to that. That's a way that you can go ahead and store overclock profiles inside of the UEFI and launch them at the touch of a button. And the MemOK button, of course, allows you to resolve memory initialization issues as well as memory compatibility issues, or in some situations you could also use it as a semi-clear CMOS. If you didn't want to go ahead and hold down the power button, you could hold down that button and it will just reset frequency parameters but leave things like your fan controls, SATA control operations, and a number of other functions in the UEFI untouched. So it is a great secondary option. From there, of course, we've got another 4-pin fan header. We have a 24-pin motherboard power connection. And right next to that, there are going to be 4 LEDs. Those 4 LEDs are part of our QLED diagnostic system. So the QLED diagnostic system exists for the CPU, the DRAM, the graphics, and the boot device. And these will illuminate and lock red if one of those devices is having an issue when you are powering up your system. So a great way to easily pinpoint and troubleshoot your system. Down from there, we of course have a front USB 3 header. The front USB 3, of course, fully supports our USB 3 boost performance enhancing technology. So for storage devices like flash drives or high-speed external hard drives, you can go ahead and attach that and get an improvement in performance. And we're going to see a lot of different capacitors here on the board, but they're all black, and that's because they are all our ultra-high performance Nichicon GT 10K rated capacitors versus the industry average of 2K, and these offer 5 times the lifespan and significantly improved temperature tolerances, not only at offering significantly cooler temperature tolerances, but significantly hotter temperature tolerances, which is a nice plus when you consider that this board is targeted towards 2-way, 3-way, and 4-way GPU configurations. Right below that, we've got a slew of a lot of Sata Connectivity, 10 SATA 6G ports in total on the board, 6 provided by the PCH and 4 provided by supplemental add-in controllers, specifically the AS Media 1061. Right next to that, of course, we can see a high performance Pcie heatsink, keeping things nice and cool for our storage array. And right below that, we have a switch that allows you to go ahead and switch between the two full independent UEFI chips on the motherboard. This is great for you guys that are tweakers and tuners out there and want to be able to run maybe one UEFI that has one full set of profiles and one full UEFI for your 24/7 normal everyday usage in gaming. But maybe you want to run another UEFI for when you're tweaking, tuning, and overclocking, and just kind of overall playing with the board. Entirely up to you, but they're fully independent. You can switch between them. And unlike other vendors, we do not cheap out and solder on the chips. These are fully socketed based UEFI chips. That means that if a failure was to occur, you could go ahead and just remove it, pump in the new one, and you'd be good to go. Next up from there, of course, we have an entire array of all the front chassis leads like power, reset, hard drive LED, power LED, things along those lines. We also have a special DRCT header. The DRCT header, of course, allows you to run a cable instead of running it to the front chassis header. For the reset button, you can run it to that, and when you hit the reset button on the front of your chassis, it'll reboot you straight into the UEFI. So this makes a really nice touch in terms of giving you a one-touch button to be able to get into the UEFI. No more hitting the keyboard and the delete key. We've got another 4-pin chassis fan header. There's also going to be optional temp sensors. There's a total of 3 of them that are spread throughout this board, but there are 3 optional temp sensors where you can go ahead and plug in a temp probe to those temp sensors, and you can go ahead and run those to your hard drive, to your chassis, to a GPU, wherever you want to be able to have additional temperature monitoring, which is another key point of this being an Extreme Series board. From there, of course, we have some supplemental USB 2 front headers. We're also going to go ahead and have our ROG OC panel connection header, and so that's going to be where you connect the cable for the OC panel itself. We've got another 4-pin chassis fan header. We then have the direct key button, so that's going to be the one-touch button to reboot straight into the UEFI. We have a fast boot button, so this is hardware level control for you guys that want to be able to enable fast boot protocol. That means that the board's going to be fully optimized to be able to post and boot as fast as possible. In our testing with the best SSDs on the market and Windows 8, we can be essentially getting to the desktop in as little as about 3.5 seconds. So a really awesome set of hardware that all ASUS Z87 series motherboards offer, but here we give you the hardware level control to turn it off and on depending on your configuration needs. And then from there, of course, we have front HD audio connection, and we have the high performance ALC 1150 audio codec built on board. So that is a nice improvement compared to the previous generation, supporting even higher signal to noise ratio and higher dB. Now moving up from there, we've got a bit more connectivity. We have one of those other optional temp sensors right below those 2 chassis fan headers, and we have some supplemental power connections for the PCIe array. Once again, you do not need to worry about utilizing those if you're running in a normal air-cooled configuration or non-extreme cooled configuration. So those are there only for supplemental power. So rounding things out, before we jump into the PCIe connectivity, let's just retouch on the total number of fan headers. So if we go, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A total of 8 4-pin PWM fan headers on the board. Outstanding in terms of cooling potential. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into the Pcie expansion. Okay guys, so we've gone ahead and covered pretty much the entire topology minus the PCI expansion. And the reason why we've kind of broken this apart and to go into a little bit more detail is because not all motherboards are created equal when it comes to how you work with expanded PLX-based solutions. There are different ways to introduce this, and the great thing is that ROG's attention to detail really comes out here, where we've optimized the layout to make sure that you guys and your configuration considerations have the most flexibility depending on how you want to work with the system. One, we've laid it out so that if you're going to go ahead and use, let's say, our high performance triple slot based designs, you're still going to actually have a slot available to you in the middle for airflow, or if you want to go and add something like a Zonar Phoebus for a high-end sound card, or maybe like a RAID controller, you're going to have that flexibility. Of course, if you're using only 2 slot oriented cards, you've got more than enough expansion space. And if you're only using one primary GPU, you're still going to have tons of PCIe connectivity. So from the top, we have a physical by 16, physical by 16, physical by 16, physical by 16, a physical by 4, and another physical by 16. Now, in terms of how we have it mapped out, we're always going to be keeping this primary slot mapped into the PCIe lanes from the CPU. This helps to ensure the best performance and the lowest latency, which helps to overall give us the best gaming experience possible, as well as actually the best performance numbers as well. if we never have to introduce going into the PLX if we don't need to. So even in two-way configurations, we're also going to maintain an 8x8 but native configuration. So once again, mapping directly from the PCIe lanes supplied directly from the CPU. Only in three-way or four-way configurations are we going to be referencing the PLX multiplexing solution. In addition to that, even within those configurations, we're always still going to ensure that the primary card and the primary slot is mapped to those CPU PCIe lanes to make sure that we're getting the best performance. So overall, that gives you a little bit of perspective that once again, this board is truly extreme and brings the attention to detail when it comes to the PCIe connectivity. So next up, we're going to talk a bit about the power topology and the VRM on the Maximus VI Extreme. Okay guys, so we're getting into the nitty gritty here for something that's really special. As you guys know, we pride ourselves on power design and overall component quality on ROG at being the best of the best and being the leaders when it comes to performance and the quality of integration. It's not just the components you pick, but how you integrate them and the total design considerations, and nobody does better than ROG. If you talk about the performance of what we've been able to demonstrate internally in our labs, we've been pushing 7 gigahertz on the Maximus VI Extreme, and that's really an attention to detail to show you the capability of this platform and what this motherboard has the ability to offer you guys when even you guys are standard users and overclocking it. So you can feel definitely confident in the power delivery solution that we have in place. So a couple of specifics is first and foremost, we've gone ahead and removed the heatsink assembly so that you can see right here, it's an awesome high performance, high density fin base heatsink assembly with a sintered heat pipe. So of course that sintered heat pipe helps to go ahead and work with the rest of the heatsink assembly to effectively pull in all the heat, dissipate it, go ahead and give us overall very solid thermal performance. We even include also small heat sinks that are fixed to the back of the motherboard to go ahead and aid in some additional heat dissipation for the NextFET MOSFET power blocks, which are the hottest ports of the motherboard. So if we take a look here at the VRM section, you can see that there's a lot going on, but it looks great. Really, our ROG engineers have taken it to a whole nother level at really bringing that attention to detail to pick outstanding components and integrating them in the best possible way. So of course, we touched on those Nichicon GT capacitors. That's part of our Extreme Engine DIGI III power design. In addition to that, of course, we have these awesome, really nice, new high-end Blackwing chokes. These are rated for 60 amps, an extraordinary high level of power output capability, actually even higher than what we offered on the X79 platform. In addition to that, their actual special winged design allows for improved thermal dissipation and a reduction of operating temperature by about 3 to 5 C per each one of these. So not only do you get an extremely high level of power output, but you have an extremely high level of efficiency and overall improvement in terms of the power topology for the board. In addition to that, we have these ultra high-end NextFET power block MOSFET designs that round out the entire power topology for the Extreme Engine DIGI III power design. So overall, you can definitely feel confident in this 8-phase solution that really not only sets world record performance, but has been proven time and time again. If you go back multiple generations, we've consistently shown you that our 8-phase digital power designs set the standard in terms of what you have for power, efficiency, and overall overclockability and stability. So awesome setup that, of course, you have all the options to control and tune inside the UEFI and inside of our AI Suite 3 system utility. So with that, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the I/O connectivity. Okay guys, so next up we're going to talk about the I/O. So as always, ROG has an extensive array of connectivity. It's very performance oriented. With this being the Extreme board, it's very special. It's one of the series of motherboards that we have for our Z87 that features A2.11 AC on board. That means you have the highest form of wireless connectivity standard integrated by default on the motherboard with a 2x2 solution, as well as offering full Bluetooth 4.0. Now this comes in the form of our specialized M combo module, which is this little guy right here, which we've gone ahead and revised and updated for this generation. So this board, this one I'm showing you here, doesn't have the actual Wi-Fi module built on it, but the Extreme will come included already and installed with the Wi-Fi module. But it will also have M.2 support. So instead of the older M-SATA specification, we've embraced the newest standard, which is M.2. So for you guys, this right here is actually a little prototype M.2 module right here. The great thing about M.2 is that it's natively PCI Express based, so it supports lower latency and overall higher levels of throughput. And so if we just go ahead and take this guy, we can just slide it straight into our little M.2 or NGFF slot, and right there we have full onboard SSD functionality, whether it's something like we want to run SSD caching or we want to be able to run a full OS volume, entirely up to you, but the flexibility is there with the M.2 support as well as the M-Combo module, so giving you full PCIe wireless as well as also offering you that flash storage support. Now next up, we of course have a couple of buttons, so that's going to be the clear CMOS button as well as our ROG Connect. So the ROG Connect button is going to be used in conjunction with that white cable that we talked about, and when plugged into the corresponding port, will give you access to that hardware, a USB-enabled ability to diagnose, monitor, and overclock your system. Additionally, that button will also serve as to be the USB BIOS flashback button. So that means we can take a flash drive, plug it into the corresponding USB port with our UEFI updater built on there, and no CPU, no memory, no graphics card installed. We can hardware update the UEFI, or we can go ahead and recover it if it was corrupted. So that's a great recovery or ease of use update tool. From there, we've got 4 USB ports, 2 being USB 2.0, and then 2 other ones being USB 3.0. Now, all the USB 3 ports, there's a total of 6 here on the black pane, fully support USB Charger Plus, AI charger, as well as our USB 3 boost. So USB 3 boost enhances storage performance for things like flash drives or high performance external storage devices, as well as the USB charger gives us the ability to quick charge iOS, Windows, Android, and even e-readers, whether the system is in sleep, hibernation, or powered off. From there, we've got, of course, an Intel native gigabit Ethernet adapter. This is the latest generation i-series network controller, so it offers better throughput, better management capabilities, and even lower CPU utilization. And when it comes to the quality, then it's the best on the market. From there, we've got 2 more USB 3 ports. We have a full-size display port, full-size HDMI port, and then we have an optical toslink output. Right below that, we've got another set of USB 3 ports, and then we have a combo PS2 port for you guys that are out there, old school overclockers or gamers that want to be able to have fully mashable keyboards. Right below that, we have a full set of analog audio jacks, which tie into our ALC 1150 audio codec. So that pretty much wraps up the I/O connectivity. So with here, let's go ahead and wrap things up, as well as give you guys a little bit of perspective at some of the supplemental software that comes with the Maximus VI Extreme. Okay guys, so there's definitely even more that still comes included with the Maximus VI Extreme in terms of the software that comes included. We have the most extensive UEFI that's out there for you guys that are interested in tweaking and tuning and overclocking your system. So we want to make sure and check out the UEFI video that we have that covers all the brand new features. I guarantee you, you are going to want to check it out. We have sets of options and feature sets that are in there that are like nothing you guys have ever seen. I think you're going to be really impressed with the level of functionality. In addition to that, we have some special functions like SSD secure erase now built inside of the UEFI. And in addition to that, we've got some really nice supplemental software. Things like RAM disk are built in to the AI Suite 3 software utility package. So when you install AI Suite 3, there's also another piece of software like Turbo V Core or the RAM disk, which could be supplemental, allows you to go ahead and fully utilize that advanced high-speed, high-density memory that you're probably not utilizing, and be able to install applications and be able to cache directly against it to be able to improve level load times, application response times, any number of different levels of functionality. Overall, really impressive level of functionality and for performance that's offered that comes now included by default with the box. So that's something definitely special. Take advantage of, and as I noted earlier, make sure to use the support disk. So with that, you know, if we give you guys a little bit of perspective at some of the aspects on what makes the Maximus VI Extreme unique, we've talked about it. We talked, of course, about, you know, the extensive array of connectivity. You have 8-11 AC built on board, Bluetooth 4.0 on board. You've got 4-way SLI, 4-way crossfire support. You've got 10 SATA 6G ports on there. You have an extensive array of USB 3 ports, and not to mention you get this awesome piece of hardware included inside there with the OC panel. Not only compliment you guys out there that are tweakers and tuners and overclockers, but even enthusiasts like myself that, you know, overclock the system but want to have something that looks cool and is functional that I can work with inside my chassis. It just adds that much more value. When you bring that all to the table and you consider the quality of the componentry, the performance, the software suite that's coming included, for you guys that are really looking for the best of the best and looking to not compromise on the expansion, the performance, and the overall tweaking aspects of a system, the Maximus Extreme is definitely not going to let you down in this regard. So as always, you know, if you guys have any questions, comments, feedback, we'd love to get them here on the channel. Make sure to drop them into the comment section, or you can make sure to also drop us a line in the inbox. You can also feel free to hit us up at our North American Facebook pages or our North American ASUS Twitter pages. And as always, if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure and subscribe, thumbs up, and like the video so that we can keep the comment coming to you. And as well, make sure to stay tuned to the channel for additional Z87 videos. So as always, thank you.